I've had a tough day and I really didn't want to make a video tonight, but I knew that I needed to because it's been a few days. I'm burnt out. I've had a really long day at work. I've been out in the sun. I'm quite sunburned, as you might be able to see, but this video is going to be a little bit different. So if you're new to this channel is about my journey, my transition, if you like, from home ownership and working full time, all the usual bills and the trappings of a normal life, transitioning to living in a caravan, selling the house, selling pretty much all the assets that we've got, putting everything else into storage and the rest into a skip, and then we're going to go on the road in the UK and live our lives in the caravan for a little while. It won't be for more than a year, probably be for only 6 months, really, to be honest, because the ultimate goal is to use what money we have left to buy a property in France and go and live there. Now, that also means accessing my pension when I'm 55. I can't access it before then. I've got a couple of pensions in a self-invested pension plan, which I've been managing. But like I said, I've had a very hard day. I've had a hard week, actually. I'm behind on a lot of bills, and this isn't a sympathy video. And before I go ahead, everything I'll talk about on my previous videos, there's always somebody who thinks they're well-meaning, but they're not. They're just a complete arse. And it'll be a different person each time, but it'll be usually somebody who thinks that they are clearly better than I am, which I'm sure there are many people that are better than I am. There's a lot of people who are in worse situations than I am, and I'm very aware of that. But I don't need reminding of what a crap decision maker I am, how bad my decisions have been in the past and everything else. What I should have done was this, what I should have done with that. Not helpful. So just save me the time of blocking you, please, and just don't bother. That would save me a lot of time, because you're just going to get blocked. Anyone who's abusive to me, and I get a load of it, I really do. But on the flip side, I also get some really nice comments. I've read some really good comments, some really helpful, encouraging, kind of, we're with you. And the type of people that I want to hear from really are people who are in the same boat, who're just fed up with the cost of living and just fed up with the way you're kind of forced into this, rat race, this conveyor belt of just spend and work to meet that spending. And that's what I'm trying to escape, and that's what it's all about. And when I said I didn't feel like making a video tonight, as I said, I've had some bills. I'm behind on a lot of bills. My work income has dropped massively for various reasons. The company that I deliver for, it's a food delivery company, they are paying absolute slave wages. It's just dreadful. I'm self-employed, but so I have the choice. But it's a far cry from what I used to live on. I was a bank manager for 13 years. I was on close to 50k a year, and that was like 10, 15 years ago. It was good money, and we enjoyed all of that. And yes, during those good times, I should have saved for the bad times and saved for different times. But it is what it is. And what I'm doing now is I just want to get out of that system. I wanted to be self-employed to have more freedom. It's now not giving me that freedom because the cost of living has superseded my dropped income. We pared down a lot of debts, we pared down a lot of outgoings, and everything that was left has just gone up so much now that we're left with bills that are each month and outgoings that are more than what it was when I was in the bank on much less income, less than half, maybe even a quarter of the income. So, as I say, it is what it is. And so what we're doing is we're getting out of it. But sometimes these letters and phone calls and people chasing you up for stuff, I know it's all going to be all right next year. I know it's going to be okay. I've just got to grit my teeth and get through this. And that's what this channel has been about. But I'm afraid you're going to get it warts and all. It's not all going to be rosy. And I know that. And I know that from watching other channels where people have tried to give up the rat race and try to change what they're doing and maybe leave the country or have a different kind of life, boat life, a van life, or living off grid, or buying some land and living off that. There's lots of different ways of doing it and getting out of the system, but it's not going to be an easy journey. And realised that now, and I've kind of this week it's kind of hit me hard. But we'll bounce back, and we're still going to do what we're going to do. There's no change in that. I'm meeting all sorts of challenges. I'm not even sure now that I can access one of my pensions until I'm 60. Just because I know the law says you can access every personal pension when you're 55, but I don't even know if they're going to let me do that now. There's some clause in this particular pension. I need to check where I stand legally with it. But I will not get financial advice. I'm going to do another video on that as to why I won't get financial advice. I've worked with financial advisors. They're just glorified salespeople. They just want to sell you something, and they want to make as much money out of you as possible. And they don't know. They're not life coaches. They don't know what it's all about. They don't know how to advise you properly. They really don't. So certainly not in a small session. They're not going to know your exact idea of what you want out of your life. Now that's my opinion. Right? There might be financial advisors watching this who are really cringing, thinking, "Well, an idiot." Fine, but just don't tell me in the comments. I'm not interested. Really not. What I'm interested in hearing from is, people who just don't know what to do, who are in a similar situation, who are struggling, who are like me, who are just struggling to make ends meet. If I was rich, I'd stay in the UK. I'd have no plans to move. I'd probably stay here. Cost of living is the one main driver that just that's making me want to get out. So that's what this channel is about. If I suddenly won the lottery tomorrow, right, I'd pay the house off and I'd stay in the house. I'd stay in the UK, and then I'd probably go on holiday abroad a lot if I could. That's what I would do. But the way it's turned out is the cost of living is so high here. Prices are just constantly going up. I'm just not happy with how the country's run. We've got our beaches. I cancelled my water direct debit, right? Just because I can't afford the damn thing. Can't afford it. 50 quid a month to pay a company to literally pump raw sewage untreated sewage into my local beach, which has now been condemned, which is bringing house prices down in the area. It's disgusting, because they know that they can get away with. It's cheaper for them to pay the fines than it is to pay for the infrastructure to actually do the work they're supposed to do. It's disgusting. So I'm just not paying them anymore. They can't cut me off because I'm not on a meter. And they'd have to cut several neighbours off. So, the debt, credit-wise, credit file, do I care? No, I don't care about my credit file. I really don't. I'm not going to apply for any credit. I don't need any credit. I'm ranting now. I need to calm down. As I said, it's been a tough day. I've been out on my bike doing deliveries rather than the car to try and save petrol. Try and get myself out, get fresh air, get out in the open and everything else. So, which is really nice. It's really nice. But it means I earn even less because I can get less done. But it's not, as I say, it's not for a sympathy vote. This is literally just to tell you that there will be down days. And I thought, why only record on the up days, So this video may not fall very well with people. I don't know. But yeah, as I say, you're going to get it warts and all. And the next video, there's a lot of positive things that have been happening in the background that I'm going to kind of lump together in a video as well. One of them is the stock market is doing well for now. So we are on track. Well, I don't know, on track to certainly gain some of the losses back that we had when the Trump tariffs came in. We'll see how that goes. But I'll give you an update very, very soon on that, hopefully, if you're interested. In the meantime, if you are, considering doing the same, just getting out of the rat race, getting out of the system, however it is, whether you want to move abroad or whether you want to go off grid or whatever, and any of this resonates with you, then please subscribe to the channel and check out the journey. So it's now sort of 8 p.m. I think it's probably going to be an early night for me tonight, and start it all again tomorrow and see how we go. The boat, by the way, I'm still not selling the boat, but it's on eBay, and it's for those who are interested. But I've got loads and loads of watchers, and I've also had some offers start to come through as well. Not really enough, but it means it's generated a lot of interest. So that's good. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, I appreciate you watching. I also appreciate all your comments and your likes from before on the other videos, and I'll see you very soon.